That's right, it's pre-Friday, aka Thursday, March 19th, 2026. I am Peaches. If you want to get a hold of me, of course you can over at 208-535-1015. Tomorrow morning, we're announcing another concert ticket giveaway. Pretty much right as the Victor Wilt show ends. That's when we'll announce, hey, we're giving away tickets to so-and-so and so-and-so. That's coming later this year. Make sure to check out that concert calendar, always, at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. I was laughing at this story last night, as a matter of fact. I was talking to my friends on Discord about it. There's this streamer by the name of Kai Cenat. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't, but he's the biggest streamer out there. I think he has the most subscribers on Twitch. I think. He's wealthy beyond measures, I should say. Because he has celebrities on the stream all the time. He's had Nicki Minaj, Kevin Hart. He's had a whole bunch of people on his stream. But Kai Cenat, apparently, hate motivates him. He has this wall in one of his many rooms of his house called the Hate Wall. And you think with the amount of money that guy has, he would have enough to just, frame all of these, put these in order. No, he's taped these papers to the wall, these tweets that are just hate tweets to him. I'm trying to look at different ones here. There's some on here that just don't make sense. Oh, no, I see it right there. I read it wrong. Never mind. It makes sense now, but yeah, he what's funny about the whole thing though is that not only he prints these out and tapes them to the wall, he prints them out in dark mode, which means the printer has to use a ton of black ink. And there was somebody on Twitter that said, hey, this printer's going through it, dude. Like every single one of these pieces of paper, and there's a few hundred pieces of paper here, just all in dark ink, all covered in black ink because he printed them out in dark mode on Twitter. So yeah, well, I mean, he has the money for it, but printer ink is one of those many things that just, it shocks you every time how much it actually costs. Hence why I just print stuff here at the office. I don't pay for it. Peach's Pit Party will return here in just a few on K-Bear 101. Speaking of dumb, you see what I did there? We just played Dumb from Nirvana. Anyway, it's Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. That's not the reason why I'm pointing out the word dumb. There are a lot of people who are insanely passionate about school buses putting out the stop sign. Have you seen those people freak out online about them? Because their kid is boarding the bus. Sure enough, there's a stop sign that tells people, hey, do not drive close to the school bus. There's kids boarding, coming off the bus, whatever it may be. If you see that stop sign pop out from the side of the school bus, obviously, you have to stop. You got to be patient, too. You got to sit there and wait for it to then close back in, and then you can continue driving. It's a big deal, but I've seen a few middle-aged moms take it a little too far online. They go a little crazy. They have that cover photo on their profile that says, "This is not a suggestion." Like, chill. There's plenty of other things to be more passionate about. Well, New Haven, schools in New Haven, their bus camera program, their school bus camera program caught 847 people passing buses with the stop sign out. That's a lot. I mean, the best thing you could do is potentially dedicate a few police officers to follow the school buses, sort of give them a police escort, and then see how many people pass the bus. I would say more so get an undercover cop vehicle, so that way people just don't start automatically following the law as soon as they see the scare human known as the police car. Maybe I should suggest this for traffic school powered by the Advocates. It's very similar to that sort of thing when people start complaining about people speeding down their street. Next thing you know, there's one of those things that monitors your speed. It flashes a light if you're going too fast. It scares me every time. That's for sure. Anyway, let's move on to some era. Here's Black Cloud on K-Bear 101. Violent nature from I Prevail. What makes me bring out my violent nature is when somebody doesn't return their shopping cart. Oh man, I'm glad the cart narcs exist. I talked about this yesterday. The cart narcs should exist, but I was thinking of a much better idea. I was thinking maybe they attach some type of sensor to where if you don't return your cart to the cart corral or whatever they call it, a siren goes off, and then that person gets publicly shamed for not putting their cart back. Like the sensor knows when it's back into the cart corral and when it's not. Because there's a lot of people I've seen here in the area even too leave their carts out in the open. And sure enough, when it's super windy like it was a couple of days ago, those carts can come flying, ding your car. They can block parking spaces. There's nothing worse than when you try parking into a spot and sure enough there's a shopping cart sitting right there. Oh. And also it requires store employees to spend time cleaning up rather than assisting customers, because usually the biggest excuse you hear from people who don't return their shopping cart is, well, they pay people for that. No, they don't. They're more so there to assist customers. A minute part of their job should be to wrangle up the carts from the proper areas and then put them back into the store and then go on to assisting customers. Also, another thing you should do is pick up after your dog. I'm not necessarily the type of guy to over-exaggerate about that. I have seen those very... What's the word I'm looking for? Those very... those ignorant... No, tone-deaf. Those tone-deaf signs of... Here lies the last dog that pooped in my yard and nobody picked it up. That type of thing. Like you're threatening to shoot someone's dog. That's a little aggressive, don't you think? Where is my UFO music? Do we have any here? The X-Files? Would that work? There we go. The federal government has officially registered the domain names alien.gov and aliens.gov, sparking a new wave of speculation about what might be hiding in the archives. The registration follows a recent order from President Trump to identify and release government files related to UFOs and extraterrestrial life. While the websites aren't live just yet, the Pentagon has confirmed they are already working to obey with the order and show their cards. UFO enthusiasts and skeptics alike are on high alert, waiting for what could be the most anticipated digital document dump in history. One of the most. I was thinking about it because I was talking to Aubrey recently. My girlfriend Aubrey, I was talking to her about UFOs. I asked her if she believes in aliens, and I don't think she does. I think that's what she said. No, I don't. But I'm like, come on. The universe is endless. There's so many different galaxies. There's bound to be many, many things out there, many other life forms. But she was more so saying, I think, that she didn't believe in like the stereotypical aliens, like the green creatures that are extremely tall. You know how TV and movies portray them. I was thinking, yeah, they could be completely different. I mean, we really don't know what the dinosaurs actually looked like. We just assume. We know their body structures and everything, but we don't know what color they were. I don't think we even knew really what they sounded like. I think they just, for those movies like Jurassic Park, they mixed a lion's roar with other scary sounds to make it intense. But who knows? Maybe the T-Rex could have been a whiny little, I can't say the word, but you know what I'm talking about here. But still, aliens definitely have to exist. I'm excited for this. I just bought my own domain website for my name, but alien.gov, I got to put that as one of our favorite sites on the production PC here. Let's play some Bill Murray, teaming up with Jeremy from A Day to Remember. Always let you down on Peach's Pit Party. So obviously the big thing to talk about is the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament, March Madness. It's been around since 1939, back when Jay Davis was born. Since then, the University of Nebraska has appeared in the tournament 8 times, won 0 games. This year, Nebraska is in the tournament again, this time as an impressive number 4 seed. This morning, they tipped off against number 13 Troy. And, if they win that game as they're supposed to, it'll be the first March Madness win in the history of the program. Here's your public service announcement about the bracket or brackets you filled out. There's no way you're going to have a perfect bracket. It would involve hitting a perfect 63-game parlay. The odds of a flawless bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion. As a comparison, scientists estimate there are only 7.5 quintillion grains of sand on Earth. A Powerball ticket gives you a 1 in 290 million shot at the jackpot, making it about 31 billion times more likely you'll win the Powerball than nail a perfect bracket. Even hardcore basketball fans who know something about every team can only improve their odds to roughly 1 in 120 billion. That's right. It looks like the new WNBA season will start on time on May 8th. After a week of late-night negotiations, WNBA and its players' union came to an agreement on the terms of a new collective bargaining agreement. The deal will still need to be ratified by the players, but it does mean that players like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese will be paid much more than ever before, and the league will share a larger chunk of revenue generated by new media deals, and the league and players will have to move quickly to get through off-season business. As an expansion draft for two new teams, the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo, is set for April 6th, followed by the free agency starting right after that. The draft is over, and then the college draft a week later. Let's talk about some pro football here. For years, the NFL has started their season with a game on Thursday night. That's changing this year, as the first game of the 2026 NFL season will take place Wednesday, September 9th. And, well, insiders believe this game will include the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. NFL fans won't have to wait long for the second game of the season. The Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers are scheduled to play in Melbourne, Australia, just a day later on Thursday, September 10th. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. So you know how everybody, well, not necessarily everybody, but a lot of people, they have AirPods, right? They have overall wireless headphones. I'm way too cheap and also way too poor at the same time. Like, even if I wanted to, I don't think I could buy them. I always buy the wired headphones. Always. The headphone jack was supposed to be a relic of the past. Wired headphones actually now are making a big-time comeback. Listeners are pulling the plug on Bluetooth. Sales of old-school headphones have exploded over the last 6 months. Some buyers are drawn to the superior sound quality, while others are just simply backing off of high-tech stuff. Fans of wired headphones say they're tired of dead batteries, failed pairings, lost earbuds, and are now opting for the simple plug-and-play reliability of a cord. That's what I've been saying this entire time. I always have my cheap Apple, are they called earpods? Not AirPods, but they're earpods. I buy them for like $19. I used to exercise quite a lot. I used to run quite a lot, and I would sweat, and of course that would ruin the headphones. But then I would just buy myself a new pair. You know, if I ruin my AirPods, I'm going to be pissed. I'll be so mad. That's like $200 for a pair of those things. Plus, yeah, I never trust Bluetooth. I hate Bluetooth. I think the sound quality is not that great. I always have an aux cable in my car, or the HDMI cable in my car. I'd much rather listen to my music, my apps, with that cord rather than trying to connect it to my car. It takes forever to connect. I can't imagine going to the gym and then my Bluetooth headphones just lose the pairing. They don't pair anymore to my phone. All of a sudden my music starts blaring in the gym. How embarrassing. Wired headphones for the win. Story of the year, gasoline. It's Peaches here on K-Bear 101. I'm excited for this potential thing to happen. Last night, well, I decided, hey, you know what? I need to lose weight. I need to get off my fat butt instead of just sitting more so at the computer like I do here all day. I went for a walk around the Greenbelt, did the whole loop. Took me about an hour. It was fun. But the whole time, I listened to Lou Brutus's book. I forgot the exact title of it. I think it's just called Sonic Warrior. And there's something else attached to that I'm not remembering right now off the top of my head. But if you just look up Lou Brutus Sonic Warrior, it'll pop up. And it's a great book. I've listened to the first couple of chapters. I did so on my walk last night. And, well, I do have to agree with Victor. Listening to the audiobook is so much better because he's the one narrating it. And, well, I didn't realize how fun he would be repeating those words in the book. Him telling those stories, so much better. Talking about his first concert ever, seeing Ted Nugent and Black Sabbath at the Madison Square Garden, out of all places. he threw up all over his sister's boyfriend or something like that. It was quite funny. I moved on to the next chapter, or the next part of the book, where he talks about going to Antarctica to go see Metallica perform to promote a beer. So, yeah, I guess I'll be doing much more walking, listening to that audiobook. Because according to a lot of you listeners, listening to an audiobook is the same as reading the actual book. And I'm also excited for the potential opportunity to have Lou Brutus on my podcast called Talking Between the Songs. It's a new-ish podcast that I started last year. There's only about 4 episodes out there right now where I talk to radio DJs. The first episode was with my good friend John Camucci of 104.3 My FM in Los Angeles. Then the second episode was with the voice of Cannonball 101, Pete Gustin. He's known as Blind Surfer online. He's 100% blind, but he's able to have a robot tell him what to say on the script, and he'll do it, and he has an amazing, amazing voice. He was taught by the legendary Don LaFontaine, who you've definitely heard in the past on movie trailers and stuff, but Pete Gustin also has done plenty of things that you've definitely heard him on. He's one of the nicest people. That's episode 2. Episode 3 was with our morning show on Z103, Joey and Lauren, those two, that great couple. And episode 4, well, that was with Cutter, who does the Cutting Edge Countdown with Cutter Sunday nights from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on K-Bear. So I figured, why not keep the K-Bear theme going, the rock radio theme going, and interview Lou Brutus hopefully next week and get that episode up right away. Put it on our YouTube, the video portion of it, the video version of it, I should say, at K-Bear 101 RMG. Again, that's Talking Between the Songs with Brendan Peach. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts, or it's the very bottom of that list of podcasts at riverbendmediagroup.com/podcasts. My girlfriend and I were watching a lot of 80s classic films because we never have seen them in our entire lives. And, well, we need to watch The Terminator and then be prepared for this. Do we have any Terminator-style music? You know what? I'll just go with Beverly Hills Cop. Why not? That's another one of those movies I need to watch. Scientists made a liquid robot that can move through tight spaces, then firm itself back up and hold shape like nothing happened. Sound familiar? It's basically liquid metal with magnetic particles in it. Flip the magnetic field on, it stiffens up and moves with purpose. Turn it off, it goes right back to being fluid. They've already tested it, squeezing through gaps and then reforming on the other side, which is insane. And yeah, the goal is actually useful stuff. Search and rescue, getting into places humans and regular machines can't, even medical use down the line. Like, what if somebody gets stuck in like the Nutty Putty cave? Isn't that closed now because of that one infamous story where somebody did get stuck? That gives me so much anxiety watching someone go into like a tight cave. But what if somebody actually does get stuck in a tight cave? Will they just unleash this T-2000 wannabe, go and rescue them, move rocks out of the way? You hear the liquid robot that can reshape itself, and your brain immediately goes to that one scene from Terminator. It's cool, it's impressive, but just one of those things where you kind of hope it stays in the lab for a while. Peach's Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101. I was a little disappointed this morning, even though this doesn't really affect me all that much, considering I now live here and not back at home. But still, I was planning on trying to go to Universal Studios Hollywood with Aubrey, because I think we tried going there last time, but we just ended up not doing so for whatever reason. I think there was just so much to do in such little time. Like, a week is really not that long when you go and visit California. You should ideally, if you can afford it, go for like 2. And that really just, helps things out. One of these times I should just take 2 weeks off, build up as much PTO as I can, and just go home for 2 weeks, hang out with my family, take some time off of all this talking and promotion creation that I do here. Where's the official post? I saw it posted somewhere. I wanted to pull it up before I started talking about it, so that way I had the information right here in front of me. There it is. Yeah. So at Universal Studios Hollywood, for the longest time, they had this Waterworld show. Obviously, it's an outdated movie. I think it came out in the 80s, right? I haven't seen the movie, but I have thoroughly enjoyed the show. I've been meaning to watch the movie because it features fellow Cal State Fullerton alum Kevin Costner in the movie. I think it does. I better look that up before I just completely talk out of my butt here. Waterworld. Okay, good. Kevin Costner is in the movie. Okay. Whew. But the show was fun, right? It was a funny show. It was great. You got wet from it, that type of thing. It's one of those like SeaWorld-esque shows, but there was no sea creatures being abused. Just actors doing their thing, right? Well, I guess they're getting rid of the Waterworld show, and they're making it a One Piece show, the anime. Yeah, Pirate World still, which makes sort of sense, but I don't care for anime. I have tried and tried and tried and tried. I just can't do it, all right? I hate to sound like one of those people. I just don't understand the hype. I can't do it. I've tried listening to Sleep Token 16 times, and I just don't get it. No. One Piece anime, any anime out there, you can even try saying, hey, you haven't watched the right one, and then show me one, and I'll still be like, whatever. This is boring. I'm very weird when it comes to cartoons, especially when like I can't pronounce 95% of the names on the show. Like, what kind of name is Monkey D. Luffy? Obviously, I can pronounce that one, but there's so many characters on One Piece, and there's so many episodes. But One Piece is extremely popular. I get it. It's obviously something that, well, the bleachers will be packed every single time. I'll go see the show because it should be a fun little thing, and maybe that will get me slightly into it, but I doubt it. Isn't there the live show, too, on Netflix? I think that's the reason why they're doing it. Oh, it would suck being one of those stage performers doing something like this, and you got to keep doing the same show over and over and over again with stunts involved. You got to fall off like some high platform and land in water that's like 50 feet down, things like that. Oh, they better pay those people well, which I'm sure they don't, but still, they should. One Piece taking over Waterworld at Universal Studios. Again, this doesn't really affect me all that much, but I just saw that this morning, was kind of disappointed. People love to complain about applying for jobs. I know before I got the job here, finally, it took me 3 years to find something outside of working part-time at In-N-Out, which I absolutely hated. Also working part-time at TMZ as a production assistant. I was applying everywhere, and I had COVID as a setback too. Like, you know, the COVID year, I was applying for jobs in 2020, and obviously everybody was just struggling during that time. Well, people love to complain about applying for jobs, and honestly, they're not wrong. You upload your resume, then you retype it, then you make an account, then you forget the password, then you never hear back anyway. It's like a test just to apply. And that's why something like HireEastIdaho.com makes a whole lot of sense, right? It cuts out a lot of the nonsense, just shows you what's available locally, straight up, like this week's Job of the Week. Rio Products International in Idaho Falls. They're hiring production workers. No experience needed. Look at that. If you've got patience, steady hands, and can stay focused, you're literally helping build fly fishing lines that get used all over the place, right? You're a critical part of their business. And the schedule's not bad either. Monday through Thursday. So you're working 4 days and getting 3 days off. Early shift or later shift, and that later one bumps you up to about $14 an hour plus actual benefits like medical, dental, vision, 401k, all of it. This is one of those jobs where you don't need to jump through hoops just to get a shot. You can go straight to farbank.com/careers and just simply apply. Or just hit HireEastIdaho.com, see everything else that's out there. If you've been saying you need a job, this is about as simple as it gets. Again, HireEastIdaho.com, and also the link to apply for this specific Rio Products International job that I just talked about. What's it called again? Farbank.com/careers. I can only imagine working for TSA right now. You've got agents showing up every day, dealing with travelers, dealing with long lines, dealing with people yelling about taking their shoes off. And right now, they're not even getting paid because of the government shutdown. Like, imagine clocking in, doing all that, your paycheck just says zero. It's gotten so bad that airports, Denver included, are literally asking passengers to donate grocery and gas gift cards just so these workers can get by. These aren't optional employees either. You know, TSA agents, they're considered essential, so they have to keep showing up even without pay. That's why you're starting to see longer lines, people quitting, just overall frustration building across the board. I'm glad I haven't booked a trip back to California yet. I don't want to deal with some type of something happening with TSA, something happening with the airline. Oh, at that point, it's not even about the job itself. It's everything around it. You're dealing with the public all day. Then on top of that, you've got to worry about how you're paying for groceries. Makes you look at those airport security lines a little differently. Those people are going through it way more than anyone realizes. At that point, you might as well just... it would be acceptable to have that iPad that spins around. They ask for a tip. I'll give them a tip there, okay? They need it. So obviously, Punch the Monkey, that is the viral animal. Everyone sort of forgot about Mood Dane, that pygmy hippo. Mood Dane is still in that zoo over in Thailand, and this man, he climbed into the habitat of Mood Dane. You've probably seen this hippo all over the internet, little pygmy hippo that blew up online. Just started filming like he was on a private tour. Didn't try to pet it, didn't run, just in there hanging out recording. Meanwhile, that's still a hippo. A baby hippo, sure, but mom is right there, and hippos are not exactly known for being chill. Staff catches him, cops, they show up, he gets arrested. Now the zoo's like, yeah, we might take this further. Best part, the hippos are fine, just startled, which honestly feels like the normal reaction in this whole story. It's one of those moments where you just want to ask, what was the plan? What was the end game there? Did you want to go viral? Like, I just hopped in with the viral hippo, no big deal. Some people really think rules are just suggestions until they meet a 1,000-pound reality check. You know, Mood Dane, the mom, any animal that's a mom is going to protect their baby. And I wouldn't mess with hippos. You can't outrun a hippo, surprisingly. They can run up to like 35 miles per hour. It's ridiculous. There's been a lot of talk about age gaps as of late. Age gaps when it comes to dating. My grandfather, way back in the day, when he was 20, decided to marry my grandma. And, well, she was 14. Yeah, imagine that. We've always made that joke saying, hey, when did you guys start dating? When she was 12? It's disgusting, right? Mick Jagger just said, hold my beer, because I realized I forgot he was dating somebody that much younger. I know his girlfriend just got attacked, which is awful, but she's 38 years old. He's 82. I'm not doing the math right now, but that's a whole lot of years. That's a whole lot of difference, right? 82 and 38. She was born in 1987. How old was Mick Jagger in 1987? Let me look that up real fast. He's about 44 years old. Jeez. I guess he's supposedly slowing down now because the Rolling Stones, they've been on tour. I mean, he's in phenomenal shape for 82 years old. I'm going to hate to see the way that I look if I get to 82. He works out every day. He dances. Those are the reasons why he's still able to tour at such an old age. I mean, Mick Jagger, 82 years old. You don't realize how old some people are until you actually look it up. You're like, oh, wow, they're that old? But the age difference, man, 82 and 38. Imagine being the 38-year-old Melanie Hamrick. She's a choreographer, author, retired ballerina. She danced with the American Ballet Theater for 15 years before retiring in 2019. She's written 2 novels, but imagine telling your parents, yeah, I'm dating someone. Who is it? Oh, it's Mick Jagger. Are you kidding me? He's 44 years older than you. Like, imagine him coming to Thanksgiving, Christmas even. Comes to Christmas dinner. Just old Mick Jagger. Wow. It's Atreyu now, all for you on K-Bear 101. Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. The last concert I went to, obviously, Bad Omens, Beartooth, and President at the Ford, Idaho Center, at the Delta Center. What am I even saying? I was looking at the Ford, Idaho Center being listed on our concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. There's the shortcut to it via the K-Bear 101 app as well. The whole thing is stacked. Coming up here real quick, you've got The Devil Wears Prada twice in the same week. You got Slaughter to Prevail rolling through. Lamb of God, Rise Against, Lacuna Coil. That's just the end of March into early April. Then it keeps going. Guar, Behemoth, AFI, Clutch, Electric Callboy, Black Veil Brides. And that's before you even get into May, where it just gets stupid. You got Amon Amarth and Death Clock on the same bill. Sepultura, you got the Chaos and Carnage tour, Billy Joel and Steen. If you want to switch it up for a night, it doesn't slow down either. Summer hits, and now you've got Evanescence, Goo Goo Dolls, Death Cab for Cutie, Poppy, Motionless in White, Shinedown, Avenged Sevenfold. There's no excuse to be bored this year. If anything, the problem is figuring out which ones you can actually afford to go to. riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. Scroll through it, pick your shows, start planning now, because 2026 is loaded. I've already talked about this. Slaughter to Prevail, Whitechapel, and Attila. March 28th, I'll be going to the Boise show because it's on a Saturday. I figured I might as well just drive to... I'm driving to Twin Falls with my girlfriend on Friday night because her sister lives out there. We'll spend the night with them, and then that next day, instead of Aubrey coming with me to the show, she'll be with her sister and all of that, hang out with her while I go to the show by myself. I think Maddie Kidd, the awesome graphic designer down the hall, she is going to be at the show as well. So yeah, we'll both be there. Slaughter to Prevail, Whitechapel, and Attila. I talked about this also on the show already, that I tried getting an interview with Alex Terrible, but I guess he's training twice a day, every day for Blood, the bare knuckle boxing thing he's doing. So he's keeping interviews to a minimum. So unfortunately, that interview is not happening. But I did just hit up Whitechapel's people. I'm going to try my best to talk with Phil Bozeman before the show. Oh, that would be awesome. I have this giant Whitechapel flag hanging above my computer. I definitely want him to sign that. So anyway, again, check out the concert calendar, riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar, or like I said, use the shortcut to it via the K-Bear 101 app. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.